Mentoring. What is mentoring? Well, according to Webster's dictionary, mentor is a trusted counselor or guide who teaches or gives help and advice to a less experienced and often younger person. But it's more than that. We're here today to talk about mentoring. Hi, my name is Valerie Bogar, and I'm your host on Insight. And today I have three guests, okay? And I'm going to let them introduce yourself, but today we have Miss Kay McKinley, we have Mariela Torre, and Mr. Willie Donald. Okay, so how about we start with you? How about you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Kay McKinley. I'm the Deputy Superintendent for the Okaloosa County School District, and mentoring comes under one of my job duties.
Oh, excellent. So how long have you been doing that in Okaloosa County?
Probably the last 7 to 8 years.
Oh, excellent. All right, and what about you?
Hello, my name is Mariela Jr. I go to Northwest Florida State College. I had a mentor throughout my whole middle school years, and it actually helped me grow a lot in what I want my major to be.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Oh, excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear it, and we look forward to listening and hear more about how that helped and made your decision now that you're in college. All right, and can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Willie Donald Jr., and I have been mentoring for approximately 7 years, and I'm a member of Striving for Perfection Church, and that's how I started into mentoring.
Oh, great. Well, this show is all about mentoring, and we're actually looking for mentors, in the school, because there's, I don't know how many thousands of students there are in Okaloosa County. I know there are a lot of students out there that need, our help. So I want to start off with you. Could you tell us, what it's like, to be a mentor in the in Okaloosa County School?
Yes. Well, first of all, being a mentor to me is something that I believe that I'm giving back to the community. Because there's a lot of kids out here now today that need to talk to someone about changing their lives or trying to find out what you have done in your past so that they can see if they can make that change also. But they also, the experience that I have received from the kids that I have mentored, I have one that's in senior high school now, the first kid I started out with. And he's on the wrestling team, and he's doing fine, Then I have kindergarten, down to the kindergarten at Mariela Elementary, which, they're a little rough and tough, but they stop and they listen to what you have to tell them. They always want some type of advice. And when you can mentor a child for 30 minutes, just for 30 minutes of your time, it makes you feel good and it makes that child feel good to know that they have someone that they can come to at least once a week and talk to. They can't wait, they be so excited, and that's what makes me continue to be a mentor in this community.
Well, that's great. I know sometimes when I think of mentoring, I think more like academics, like help with academics, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You can actually just to talk, and that's all kids need.
Yes.
And I love how you also mentioned that it doesn't just help the child, it actually helps you too. So it's like a two-way thing. So, you have each other to talk to or looking forward to. So that's excellent.
Yes.
So we have a student here who's actually, she's on the other side, what it's like to actually being mentored too. So could you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, it was my 6th through my 8th grade year. I had a mentor, and she helped me a lot because I was very angry as a child. And she helped me express myself through writing and writing poetry or just writing down my feelings, and helped me make art, and just by drawing something down or painting or just expressing my feelings in any shape or form, it always made me feel more comfortable. Somebody actually knew and understood how I wanted to express myself, and not just by talking, could just watch me just express myself through writing, talking, telling a story, any type, and it makes me feel good. And hopefully one day I'll be writing a best-selling book, and somebody could actually read and what I was going through one day. So,
well, that's great. I mean, that's cool to actually see. A lot of times, there's adults that say, "Yeah, we need mentors," but it's kind of nice to see this is the result of actually getting, a mentor and actually help with your decision and your educational track. Because I know I've known you for a while.
Yes.
If you don't know, I've actually known Mariela, and so she's been debating. But it's cool that what you came to, found something that you really love doing, and that had to do for being a mentor.
Exactly.
And Miss Kay McKinley, can you just give us an overview on mentoring opportunities in Okaloosa County? We heard from a man who talked about being a mentor, and we heard from this woman who talked about her being a child being mentored to. But could you tell us, the process of actually going ahead and doing that?
Well, actually, I want her autograph first, since she's going to be a best-selling author one day. And Mr. Donald, he epitomizes what we're looking for in mentors in Okaloosa County. And Mariela is actually the recipient of somebody who wanted to make a difference like Mr. Donald did. That's what we're looking for, an adult who just wants to make a difference in the life of a child. If you're afraid of somebody who's in high school and 6 feet tall, we have kindergartners that are 2.5 feet tall that need somebody. We have children that are at risk because of maybe they're failing some subject areas. We don't need you to be an expert in math or science or English. We just need somebody who is willing to give up 30 minutes a week, maybe an hour because you have to drive to the school. It's all done on school grounds, so you don't have to worry about taking a student off campus. But it's somebody, you've probably seen some of those foster parent commercials where you don't have to be perfect.
Yes.
The kids are going to come to you and want to be a friend of yours. Right. You're like an accountability partner with the parents. Some of our students come from 2-parent families that are working night shifts, day shifts, and they just need a third person. They need, it's the old cliche, it takes a village to raise a child. It really does. And I know these two are perfect examples of what a successful mentoring program is. And I think Okaloosa County is well on its way to certainly establish that. And we have a lot of support with people in the community.
So about how many mentors does the schools receive?
We've had anywhere from 400 to 800.
Oh, wow. That's
At
a
our
lot.
peak, we've had 800. We get a lot of support from the military.
Okay.
Even with their multiple deployments, they will come back and say, we can give 6 months. Even though we want you to have a year, we'll take what you can give us. It's the deal is be consistent. If you say, I'm going to come every week from 2 to 3 or 10 to 11, come every week. Or at least notify the school and the student why you can't be there, because they're going to be relying on you. I know Mr. Donald, when he says he's going to be there, that child's looking forward to you being there, right?
Yes.
And Mariela, I know you could say, because that person, we've talked before the show, and her mentor made quite a difference in her life, because I think she would probably not be in school today, and you probably knew her.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yes. It would not look pretty now.
Well, that is excellent. Like you said, I mean, how much difference. People don't really think that, just talking to somebody, would, a child's like, that wouldn't make much of a difference. But it's amazing just to hear from you all that actually it does make a huge difference. And the whole point of having this on the show is awareness, because I think some people don't really know the need for that. And some people want something to do and they don't, really have that. So I think that's really amazing. Do you say that there's a certain age group that needs more mentors than other age groups, like they don't have as many as, you're hoping for?
Well, certainly high school is, because people are afraid of high school students. They're bigger than you are, and they're more worldly. But they really need somebody to listen to, because when you get to be a young teenager, you don't want to talk to your mom and dad. No. You're mad at them. You hate them. They don't know anything. You know that. Your parents didn't know anything when you were that age. So having somebody like Mr. Donald to just come in and have no expectations, no preconceived notions of what your beliefs are, what your goals are, just to support you. I would certainly say our high school students, but to make a change in a child early on, the younger students.
Oh, that's I totally agree. And then you said, what age group did you have when you first had your mentor?
My middle school years, from 6th grade to 8th grade, she was there every Friday, and it was amazing. Because on Sundays when she couldn't come, I did feel like, okay, now I have nothing, like no one to talk to, because I was a loner and I was always angry. So when she couldn't come, it just made me more upset. But then when she did come, she'd surprise me on certain days to make up for it. So then it just made me feel like someone actually did care, even though I knew my parents cared. But having an extra person to go the extra mile to come see me. It just makes a difference.
Well, that's beautiful to hear. Like, you don't really realize that just being absent, and how that affects, somebody, like you said, that consistency. So make sure that, out there, if you're really interested in mentoring, think about, your schedule and if you can be there at certain times, because like she said, that's really, really important. Even making up for it, that was good. That helped out and it was very, very helpful. So how many children have you mentored about, do you know?
Well, I would say approximately 15 so far. And I would like to add one little thing to this. High schools, the kids are great, but you have to remember one thing. They don't forget your face.
That's true.
And you do things at school with them, and then they inform you of things that they're doing on the outside. And when they tell you certain things, like the high school student that I have, he constantly tell me every time he see me outside of the school, he would say, "Hey, Mr. Donald, I got a football game tonight." And what do you say? You say, "Okay, I'll be there."
Exactly.
Because you want him to know that you're supporting what he's doing. And anytime, as she stated, anytime you have problems, you know that you have one person that you can go to that you have confidence in.
Yeah.
And I would say to anyone out there that if you have 30 minutes to give a child, give them that 30 minutes. Let them know that you care. And they will return that back to you someday. You never know. And, I tell all my kids that I mentor, one thing about me, I got your back. And I tell them, will they have my back? And if they say yes, I know we got a partnership there.
Well, that was beautiful. Well put. And we're going to leave you with that. We're actually going to go on a break, and you heard them. We're here talking about mentoring. And will you have somebody else's back? Because they'll have your back. So please join us back here. We'll be back to talk about how you can be a mentor and how you can help somebody else, okay? So thank you, and you're watching Insight.
In only 30 minutes a week, you can make a big impact on a child in Okaloosa County. The Okaloosa School District is recruiting mentors at all academic levels throughout the county. Studies show that students who are mentored develop self-confidence, make better grades, and improve their relationships with adults and peers. To learn more about the mentoring program or to sign up, visit okaloosaschools.com and click on the Become a Mentor link. You can make an immediate impact on a child and the community by becoming a mentor today.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
When 10,000 students need to be online at the same time, Cox Business is there.
When the big game relies on an even bigger communications network, we're there.
And when students need the same tools and opportunities no matter where they are, we're there.
With a $16 billion network and ability to route 50 million calls a day, Cox Business powers education. We're there for your business, too.
Hi, and we're back here on Insight. And today's episode is all about mentoring, what it's like being a mentor, what it's like being mentored to, and how you can be a mentor. We have 3 guests. We have Mr. Donald, and he was a mentor. He still is a mentor with Okaloosa County. We have Mariela, who's been mentored in middle school, and she's now in Northwest Florida State College, and the impact that is made on her and her decision and her career path. And we have Miss Kay McKinley, and she works with the Okaloosa County School District, and she's here, and she's going to talk now about how you can possibly be a mentor. So I'm sure there's people now, hopefully we motivated people out there who really wants to be a mentor. So what can they do if they wanted to be one? What is the process?
Well, the first thing is just make the commitment. Just say to yourself, like Mr. Donald did many years ago, 15, or how many years have you been? 7, 9 years?
7.
Just make that commitment. We don't want you to have to stick around for 9 years if you have other things to do. Make the commitment. Then call us, and I believe there's a phone number that we will show on the screen.
Right.
And Diane Meredith will answer the phone, and she will take your information. There's a real one-page application you fill out, and we'll do a background search on you, which is very simple. And then there's a training that lasts about 45 minutes, and there's 3 different locations where we offer the training, and that information we could give you as well. Go to the training, 45 minutes. The training is very concise, and it tells you things such as confidentiality is something we stress. We don't want you to go to Walmart and say, "Oh, I'm Mariela's mentor, and she told me she did this." And we don't, that's, as Mr. Donald said earlier, kids tell him things, and unless it is going to harm the student or somebody else, then everything is pretty much confidential. After we do your background check and you come out okay, we refer you to the school of your choice. So if you want Laurel Hill, Baker, Okaloosa, Destin Elementary, wherever, we will look for a student there, and then you contact that school, and the mentor coordinator there will match you up with a student who is in need of a mentor.
Oh, that's excellent. So it's not too bad. So let's say someone has mentored a couple of years ago. Will they need to renew their classes or their 45-minute class or do anything else?
We will redo the background check. And they will need to come to the 45-minute training that we have. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's excellent. I have been curious, though. I'm hearing the effect that mentoring has on children. I know there's a lot of stories even on bullying and how that, issues with that. And I know that's kind of a separate topic, but in a way I don't think it is. So as mentoring children actually help with that? Have you talked with students who've been bullied or something like that? So I guess I'll start with you, Mr. Donald. Have you spoken with a child that said that they've been bullied or dealt with any kind of issues like that in school?
No, I haven't had a child that said he or she have been bullied in no way, but I have talked to kids about their action on the way that they're doing things, and I try to tell them not to bully other kids. And sometimes I found out that kids are embarrassed at a point when they see someone coming out there to see them, and you try to blend in with the school itself, because most of my kids, when I talk to them, is right around their lunch period, and I have had a group of kids. I'm supposed to be with this child, and here's 3 or 4 of his friends come up and want to listen to what we're talking about.
Right.
And if it's nothing that out of the ordinary that I can share with them, I talk to the whole group.
Okay.
And I ask my mentor, I say, is it okay if I talk to your friends too?
Doesn't that make him
and
or her feel special?
He feel good because the next time I come out, the first thing he will say, my friends like you. It makes me feel good then, And I say, well, anytime they want to sit around and listen to you and I talk, if they have some problems that they want to talk about, we can talk about that. So,
Excellent.
I give all my time if I had to, because as I was telling you, I had twins, and I had one at this time and then the next one an hour later, and I would sit there on the campus and wait till those time elapsed so I wouldn't have to go and come back. But it's so much fun.
I can tell you love doing what you're doing.
Yes.
And you love talking about it. And I'm sure the students can see that and they look forward to seeing you. So have you noticed any improvement in the children who've actually been mentored to academically, socially, and even with their behavior? Have you noticed any improvements?
Absolutely. The statistics just in Okaloosa County alone show anywhere from 64% to 89% in different categories of improvement in grades, attendance, behavior, discipline record. Their discipline drops because they're having somebody to say, okay, you may not should be talking to your teacher like that, or I overheard that you may be doing this and that's not something you should be doing. That mentor is certainly not necessarily the disciplinarian, but just the role model. And that is so important, just the way when you carry yourself when you come into the school, and what you do outside of the school day as a mentor. It's so important. Just like Mr. Donald said, the kids will walk up to him on the street or at church, say, hey, I've got a ball game. That is very important for the student to know that there's somebody out there that is interested.
That's what it needs, is someone to know. So kids know that someone cares.
Exactly.
So, Mariela, what was it like? Did your friends know when you were in middle school that you had a mentor, and did you talk to them about it?
They would always go on the intercom, or they would call a class, and then I'd go out of my go out the classroom and go see her in the cafeteria. It's usually pretty empty, so we go on the side table and we'd just talk, and I'd tell her some things, because I was a bully. But then I'm not gonna lie, I was also bullied as well, because when they would come at me, and I was always the smallest one, shortest as well, so it was easier for me to pick on. So then I'd find somebody else to pick on, which I knew I shouldn't have. And then she actually bought me my first journal, which I still have to this day, from all the times. Every time I got mad and I knew I couldn't say anything, I just write down how I was feeling. And then we talk about it, and it really did make me more comfortable that I can actually express myself, not only to what I was writing, but actually somebody who understands too. So
right,
yeah.
Oh my goodness! So it actually helped in other ways too, and that's what it needs. It's just someone to talk to. It's amazing how just having someone to talk to, someone to vent to, someone just there to listen.
Yeah.
Even it actually makes a big difference. And even I think everybody needs it, really. Kids need adults. Because sometimes you just have those days I just needed someone to talk to, just to tell them, and not criticize me or make me feel terrible, but just feel free to express yourself. And I love the idea of this program. So, what is the goal of this program? What do you hope to see in the future?
Well, more Marielas.
Yes.
I mean, look at this. This is a true example of. She said she used to bully.
Yes.
She doesn't bully. I mean, she's yes, she's in college. Not everybody. We have 32,000 students in Okaloosa County. We've grown a couple of thousand just in the last year, actually. Not all 32,000 need a mentor. But if one person like Mariela needs the mentor, and it changed her life so significantly, it gives me goosebumps just to think of where she could be. She could be in jail someplace, or on the streets, or not working, relying on other people from day to day. And here she is, a success story. I mean, wow! We can't have any better example of what we want out of Okaloosa County's mentor program.
And also, she's in a way like a mentor too, because she actually works at an after-school program, and she actually works with some students, and there's even one specific student that she really latches on to. So, did you find yourself, some of the stuff that your mentor said to you, you kind of say to the person you work with?
Oh, most definitely, because I know, because I understand him. The person, and I know how difficult, because I was just the same way, so knowing certain ways to actually be able to talk to him, not yelling at him or scorning what he's doing, just actually being able to talk to him, make sure he hears, because everybody can just, you hear me but you're not listening. There's that's all type of ways, so making sure I give him my attention just as everybody else, but making sure he has my other full undivided attention as well. So
well, that's interesting. So the other thing too is being a mentor, you can help some student or some child, and the 15 students that you've helped that you said before, maybe all of them or some of them will be like, hey, I remember I was mentored too, so I want to do the same thing, even when I'm in college or whatever. So I'm curious though, how old do you have to be a mentor?
You could just have graduated from high school. We certainly want you through the education system. And we've had mentors as young as 19 and as old as 90. It's like I said, it's a 30-minute a week devotion to a child. In our training, we help you with some icebreakers. If you're nervous, which we are right here on TV, but if you're nervous about meeting a child for the first time, meet them at lunch. Lunch is the easiest time. If you're working, that's the easiest time for a lot of people. Most companies will allow you time off if you're saying that you're going to mentor one time a week. We have a great relationship with a lot of the large businesses in Okaloosa County, and they give their people time off to do a mentoring, especially if the school's right next to where you work. So in our training, we help you get over some of those nervousness about being a mentor. All ages of students are out there to be mentored. Certainly if you're a young mentor, you would probably be better off with a younger child, because you haven't been out in the world to experience some of the things that young Mr. Donald has experienced.
Right.
But we will take you in all sizes, shapes, and forms, and we will help you break the ice and get into the school and work with the child.
Okay. Is there any schools that need it, you say that more than others, or,
Pretty much all of Okaloosa County. If we have one child in each school, it's every school. It's like the old sea to shining sea.
Yeah.
If you want to be in Baker, Laurel Hill, Florosa, or Destin Elementary, or anywhere in between, we need at least a mentor in every one of those schools.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you guys being on the show. You've been very helpful. I learned more about the mentoring program. I learned the effects that the mentoring program has. I think that's like the huge key. Like, I think a lot of times people don't think like, oh, well, just talking to some kid, it's not gonna, it'll help, but to actually be like, hey, I'm a testimony. It does work, and I've actually helped students, and I've seen you help other students even, and how she talks to them and how patient she is with them. So you're a perfect example, and I'm pretty sure the ones that you've mentored, maybe you come back and say, hey, Mr. Donald, I'm mentoring someone now. So, and hopefully we can have some more of you, people like that can help. So again, if you are interested in becoming a mentor, what steps do they need to take? Can you repeat that one more time?
Absolutely. Call Okaloosa County School District, and I believe the first number would be 833-5888. If that's the wrong number, we'll switch you to the right one.
Okay.
Talk to Mrs. Meredith, Diane Meredith, and she will get you started on the application. It's a very simple application. We'll do a quick background search and have you on your way to a training and into a school to make a difference with a child.
Excellent. You heard her. If you want to make a difference with a child, just contact, go through the school board, or you can even contact with us an Insight. I will have the information provided. So remember, our website is www.insighttelevision.org, or check us out on facebook.com/insighttelevision. This was all about mentoring, and I hope to see you in the schools and mentoring our children for the future. Thank you for watching Insight.